Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. And today I want to talk really quickly. I'm in Los Angeles right now, and we're doing a Black Wealth training camp. I'm going to be here for the 8th and the 9th. So if you want to come by and join us, you're welcome to do so. Also, just a reminder, this podcast Spotify. We just reached over 1 million downloads on Spotify. We also have about, I want to say, 500 million views on YouTube now. So that's pretty cool also. So we're getting it done. We are sharing Black economic intelligence throughout the world. Give me a yes if you believe in Black excellence and Black intelligence. That means that you are in the right place. So anyway, all right, so let's get started here. As you guys come in, shout out the city. Also, let me know you can hear me. Give me a yes, you can hear me okay. I want to share something with you that I just saw in the news that you should pay attention to. There is an economic thunderstorm that is coming, and it's not just a recession, or that may happen. Recessions come and go. The bigger economic thunderstorm has to do with this thing called retirement. For whatever reason, Americans just don't save for retirement. For whatever reason, because we've been trained to sort of think short term, we act as if the future is never going to arrive. Well, guess what? The future's coming. And it's going to arrive first for the baby boomers. For the baby boomers, the future is now. Many of the baby boomers are starting to retire. Most of the studies are showing that baby boomers are not ready for retirement. So if you have parents that are over, say, the age of 60 or 70, there's a good chance they may have some financial challenges. I got lucky in that regard. My parents are the kind who didn't care what other people were doing. They're not followers. They tend to sort of do their own thing, and that's something that I got from them, and I appreciate it. That's why I don't care what people think. I'd rather do what makes sense to me. And so they were actually ready for retirement, and also they invested in their kids. And a lot of people don't talk about how your children are part of your retirement plan. That if you take good care of your kids, well, they're supposed to take good care of you, right? Some people. You're exploiting your kids. You shouldn't be trying to make money off your kids. No. It's about the cycle of life. That's how economics works, y'all. Give me a guess. Economics works is I scratch your back, you scratch mine. That's called the law of reciprocity. Reciprocity, economically speaking, is like love. You know, if you say, if I go into a relationship, I want to be loved, that doesn't mean you're selfish. The only time you're selfish is if you say, I want to be loved, but I'm not going to love you, or I want you to do something for me, but I'm not going to do anything for you. That's selfish, right? But it's not selfish to say, hey, you meet my needs, I'm gonna meet yours. Okay, so anyway, so let's make economic love with ourselves and economic love with each other in a positive way. And so basically, this story, I'm gonna pull this up to kind of tell you just how dire it is. Do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Please hit the notification bell. Make sure you subscribe. Also, my Instagram page is Dr. Boyce Finance. So if you like to hear a crazy Black man who loves the Black community on Instagram, who's going to challenge your thinking, I'm going to piss you off at least twice a week. If you're prepared to be pissed off twice a week, then follow me on Instagram. If you can't handle a tough debate, then I'm not for you. I'm very controversial because I speak my truth no matter where it lies, no matter how popular it is, no matter what anybody thinks. But if this works for you, my Instagram is Dr. Boyce Finance. I also have a Telegram page that's off the grid at drtelegram.com. So feel free to follow that. All right, so here's what it says in CNBC. It says, according to CNBC, the Your Money survey, Americans' financial stress has increased significantly over the summer. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. About 4 out of 10 survey respondents with a 401k do not contribute anything to their 401k. Okay, that's not good. Financial advisors say paying off high interest debt while still building emergency savings can help reduce financial stress. All right, so how many of you, give me a guess if you feel that financial stress is real? It's if you're experiencing it, if you've seen other people that you know going through it. Give me a yes if you think financial stress is a big problem. Give me a guess if you've ever experienced that. I've experienced it many times, so I'm raising both hands. Financial stress is something that never goes away. Financial anxiety is a real thing. Financial depression, financial abuse, all these things are real. In fact, in the Black Business School, it's so real that in the Black Business School, I got my wife, who's a therapist, to work with other therapist to create the first ever Black financial therapy department. This is something I'm very proud of. I mention it a lot because I want everybody to know that it does exist. I think the same way you get therapy for your relationships, you should also get therapy for your financial relationships and your financial situations, because financial stress and financial anxiety is crippling. In fact, think about this. Think about how many bad choices people make because of money. Think about your cousin who was taking penitentiary chances out in the streets because he needed to get money to feed his family. Think about that lady who's sleeping with some fat and she don't even like just so she can get the rent paid. Think about the person who gets up every day and goes to work on a job that they hate because they need the money, right? So stress is very, very real. And this is why I tell you all repeatedly that this is the best gift you can give to your children is the gift of peace of mind. And that's where things like the $5 a day investing plan come into play. If you're not sure what that is, just go to my website, boycewatkins.com. You can have it for free, or I will text it to you. Just text the word stock to 31996. Text stock to 31996. It's very important that you invest for your kids so that they can be ready, so they don't have to go through. Now, what they're saying here is that 4 million people are not contributing to their 401k plans. A new CNBC Money survey conducted by Survey found that 74% of Americans are feeling financially stressed, which is up from 70% in an April survey. About 37% of respondents indicated that they are very stressed about their personal finance compared to only 30% in April. So the amount of financial stress is going up. More than 4,300 adults in the U.S. were surveyed in late August for the report. The top stressors remain the same as in April. Here are the top stressors. These are the top things that are causing stress. Y'all ready? Inflation, rise interest rates, and a lack of savings. Let's meditate on that for a moment, shall we? Inflation, okay? Price of everything's going up. Anybody notice that? Anybody feeling that? Maybe the price of rent going up, cost of buying a house going up, cost of groceries going up. Okay, inflation, very real, which is against the backdrop of declining wages, by the way. When you account for inflation, wages are going down. Even if y'all have college degrees and master's degrees and all that, they found that the gap between incomes of people with a college degree and those without a college degree has actually shrank. That now people without a degree are making almost as much as people with a degree. Just in case you're wondering where that $100,000 student loan, what that did for you. What's the next one? Rising interest rates. Yeah, it's affecting your credit card bills, and also it's affecting your access to capital. If you have a small business, I know a lot of small business owners, real estate owners who are trying to refinance loans, who cannot refinance their loans because interest rates are. This could lead to cracks in the banking system. There's your recession. There's your economic downturn. There's your economic problem. This short term. Is it something to worry about or lose sleep over now? No, it's not. However, this is something that people are seeing on the horizon, and cracks in the banking system could be a problem. And then a lack of savings. Well, there was a lot of money saved up during the pandemic because they were writing checks like it was going out of style. That money's dwindled down. Student loans are starting to be forced to be repaid again. People are going to now have to go back to work, but the unemployment rate is starting to rise. So effectively, you're sort of getting a little bit tighter economy in that way. So this is some of what I'm saying. This is what's short term. Now, long term, they said that. They talk about 401ks and preparing for retirement. They said that the financial strain, those financial strains also make it harder for many workers to fund a retirement plan. About 2,700 respondents are fully employed or part-time. Of that group, 4 out of 10 do not contribute at all to their 401k or employer-sponsored plan. Big mistake. They're missing out on a significant opportunity to improve their financial security for the future. Yet, found that nearly 6 out of 10 workers, 57%, are contributing to some sort of 401k plan. Okay, that's good. The CNBC Money survey found that among those who are contributing, here's how they're funding their plan. 46% are contributing as much as they can possibly afford. That's what my wife did. My wife did that for many years. She's never taken a finance class, but despite the fact that the internet likes to just speculate on relationships they know nothing about, my wife did not marry me for the money. My wife married me because she loves me. She thinks I'm cute. I think I'm kind of cute too. And, I think she's very cute. But my wife also, one thing that her father told her to do, which was very smart financial advice, shout out to Dr. Mrs. Taylor, is she told her to max out her 401k from the time she was 23 years old. So because she'd been maxing that out, by the time she hit her 30s and 40s, she had a significant amount of money grow in this account, right? So little things like that make a massive difference. And again, this is culture. I talk about this a lot in my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. In that book, we talk about the culture of saving, the culture of planting seeds. So if you're consistently maxing out your 401k, then that is a part of your economic culture that's going to lead to positive economic outcomes. But if you consistently max out how many bottles you can buy at the club, that's not going to help you. If you max out how many Gucci belts you can buy in a year, that's not going to help you. If you maxing out on making sure you get the latest iPhone every year, I don't think that's going to do as much for you long term. Nothing against iPhones, Gucci belts, or going to the club, but you have to do those things after you max out your future. Okay, so let me keep going here. All right, so let's see. They said 24% are putting away as much money as their employer will match. 11% are saving up to this year's employee contribution limit. 8% just save the automatic default set by their plan. Okay, so there's kind of a mixed thing going on here. They said once they stashed away their 401k savings, workers' understanding of where their money is mixed. Nearly half, 46%, don't know what investments are in their 401k, and a little more than half, 54%, are aware of their investment choices. Still, the majority, 56%, admit that they are not on track with their yearly savings to retire comfortably, while some, 42%, say they are on track for a comfortable retirement. So basically, this number is actually not as bad as I've seen. I've seen a lot of people. I've seen numbers to say as high as 60, 70% of all Americans are not ready for retirement. And I think in the Black community, the number is probably much, much higher. I don't know if saving for retirement is as much a part of our culture as it should be. One thing I would say to any young person is that when you talk about saving for retirement, don't think of that as just something where you're only going to get money when you get old. Retirement is not just so you can have money when you get old. Your retirement plan can give you security while you're young. If you get a new job and you're putting money consistently in your retirement plan, some sort of tax deferred situation, something where your company's matching the funds, well, then you have that backdrop. You have that endowment, that financial security in terms of money that you could draw on in case worse came to worse, right? In case you lost your job or you were homeless or whatever, at least you would have a place to live. You'd at least have the basics until you're able to get back on your feet. So that retirement account isn't just for retirement. It also is just a matter of having some sort of security, something to have your back economically in case things go wrong. Traditionally, in strong families, that also comes from the family. This is why 1,000 years ago, people did things that don't make sense now, like getting married, having kids, having an extended family in the household. In America, we don't believe in that anymore. We believe everybody's supposed to be single and do whatever they want to do. I get that. No problem with that. However, if you want to know why, you'll see people come from other countries and you'll wonder, like, okay, why are all 11 of those people from Mexico living in the same house? Well, it's because there's a culture there that says that if we are connected, if we are affiliated, if we are connected, not affiliated in a bad way, but if we are connected like a flock of birds or like a herd of animals doing something for each other, then we can have each other's back and we can build off of that. In fact, I knew a family that came from India. A bunch of them lived in the same house and they had a nice little strategic plan. They opened up one little 7-Eleven. They made money, saved up that money, bought another 7-Eleven, saved up that money, bought another 7-Eleven, saved up that money. Next thing you know, this family controlled, like, I want to say like 20 gas stations and 7-Elevens in the city of Detroit. They own more gas stations and convenience stores in Detroit than any Black person in that city. If you don't think that that's a cultural issue that we have to address, then I can't help you. I don't know what to say. If you think I'm being mean by saying this, then you're on the wrong channel, man. You really got to go, because I don't know about y'all, but I just get sick of it. I'm tired of it. I wasn't built to lose. It's not fun for me. I don't like being on the losing team. And I just really think, as Black people, those of you that want to be on the winning team, I encourage you to just play a different game. You're going to have to disconnect and start doing things differently. You're going to have to learn from these other cultures, learn from these other families that are doing things in a way that's going to actually build. You got to walk away from the situations that are seeking to destroy or waste resources or not have a plan. For some of us, unfortunately, again, culturally speaking, our plan is to sit around and wait for something bad to happen so we can then feel sorry for ourselves. We sit around, we assume we're never going to die, and then Pookie dies. And next thing you know, we got to get a GoFundMe because Pookie didn't think ahead to get an insurance policy to prepare for the funeral, to make sure that he would not embarrass his family by having them have to go out and beg for money to bury a grown-ass man who had a decent job before he died, or who was, in worst cases, he was flashing money on Instagram or driving a fancy car. That's just crazy to me, right? Now, again, though, we can't typecast the whole community. Not that at all, right? There are so many people, so many of you that I see in the B1 community, especially, that are doing the exact opposite. I have bumped into people, some of them on the street, literally. I bumped into a cop. I was in New Orleans. I forgot. I was speaking at some event. I think it was Julian Gordon's Generational Wealth Conference. And as I was about to go to this thing, I had to go to this place that was like 5 minutes away, and I was waiting on an Uber. And I heard across the street, Dr. Boyce, Dr. Boyce. And I looked around, and it was a guy that was driving a pickup truck. And I was like, hey, man, how you doing? When I see y'all, I just, wave back because, he seemed like he knew who I was. And I said, this, we were talking across the street. It was kind of awkward. So I said, can you give me a ride? And he said, yeah, get on in. So I ran across the street, hopped in the car. My wife hopped in the back seat. Dangerous, right? Can't really do that. But anyway, we got in this car, and check this out. I'm not kidding. This was a random guy that I met. And this brother was a former, he was like I want to call it a ranger, but it's not a ranger. It's one of the people a marshal, federal marshal. He had been a marshal. He served on the police force, and he'd been a federal marshal. And his wife, I forgot what his wife did. But he said, I quit my job because of you. I said, really? So what happened after that? He said he quit his job. They started a family business. They got into real estate. And he told me, he volunteered the information. He said, we just passed $1 million in assets this year. Literally, this family, he'd been married to his wife 30 years. So brothers, don't, especially young guys, don't believe the hype about this sort of pimp and play a pimp kind of mindset that some of these guys are promoting to you. There are the most solid men in your community are the family men. The solid men in your community are the ones who are taking responsibility for things, because these are the strongest men. The strongest men are the ones who can carry other people on their back. But unfortunately, with the bad culture that they promote to you, they promote the men who are actually the weakest, right? Because it's the hip hop culture is full of very weak men who don't know how to take accountability, don't have any discipline when it comes to women, choices, anything like that, and that's what they promote. But the solid, sturdy men are men like that federal marshal that I met, who had been with his wife for 30 years. He'd raised 3 kids. They were all educated. They were all working together on the family business, and he was a millionaire. They were a millionaire family, and they did not start off rich. That's the secret sauce, people. That's the formula. That's the formula for what it means to build a sturdy family, what it means to build wealth. And then also when you talk about things like retirement, I'm going to give you 5 quick tips to make sure you have a solid retirement. So before I do that, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. If you've not done that yet, my name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. And also, don't forget, the All Black National Convention is happening October 20th through the 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're going to have a really good time. We're going to be at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. And I hope you guys will join us. If you'd like to learn more about the convention, just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. Also, this podcast is on Spotify. So if you want to follow me on Spotify, just look up my name, Boyce Watkins, or the Dr. Boyce Breakdown on Spotify. You'll find me there. All right. So here are some quick tips on how to prepare for retirement. It's very easy, actually. Number 1, you want to form the habit of saving early. If you wait just 5 years or 10 years, you have no idea how that can cripple you for the rest of your life. I'm not kidding. There is a massive difference in the amount of money that a person makes if they start saving, let's say at the age of 24, versus if they wait till the age of 34. In fact, the difference is so big that the 24-year-old could double their savings when they get to be 34 and still not catch up with where they would have been if they started at 24 years old. That's where the $5 a day plan is so powerful, because now you're not starting at 24. You got your child starting at the age of 0, or maybe even at the age of -1, right? Some of y'all going to have kids one day and you're already investing for your kids now. You have no idea how powerful compound interest is. If you want to understand it, think of it like if I drive a car and you're going 70 miles an hour in that car, right? And now somebody do some math for me. If you, let's say I give you a 30-hour head start. Can somebody do that math for me? If you go 70 miles an hour and I give you a 30-hour head start, how many miles will you cover in those 30 hours? Somebody answer me in the chat. 30 times 70. What is that? 2,100, right? You cover 2,100 miles. Now, let's say that we're racing. Let's say we're racing, I don't know, to California, right? And you have gone 30 hours and you're driving at 70 miles an hour. And then let's say I say, you know what? I can catch up with you. I got a Porsche. I'm going to go 120 miles an hour. Do you think I'm going to catch up with you before you get to California? What do y'all think? No, I'm not. I'm still not going to. Even if I'm going 150 miles an hour, I wouldn't catch you. Because you're so far ahead that I can't catch up. Now I got to go do the math just to make sure I'm 100% correct on this. But my point is to say that when you wait, when you give up the most valuable resource you own, the most valuable resource you own is not money. It's never money. The most valuable resource you own is something called time. Things like time and health and peace are far more valuable than anything money can ever buy. They're far more valuable. So when you waste time, it's like flushing tons and tons of money down the toilet. So the more you wait and the more you don't move, the more it's going to cost you. In economics, we refer to that as a shadow cost. You're paying a huge shadow price for the fact that you're not making some sort of move. So all I'm going to say to you is make some kind of a move. So a few things you do to save for retirement. Let me go through this quickly because sometimes I get distracted. I know that's my ADHD kicking in. All right. 1, start saving early. We talked about that. Form the habit of regular, consistent savings. Even if it's small amounts. Number 2, diversify. Make sure you spread your money out. All right. We've talked about this extensively. I don't give investing advice here. However, I will tell you that when you invest, you have to understand investing comes with ups and downs, and you're not always going to win. So make sure you spread your money out. Number 3, maximize your retirement account contributions. There are tax advantages to these programs, to 401ks and IRAs and all that. You want to make sure you take as much advantage as you can. Number 4, you have to plan for healthcare problems. I've seen people work their butts off and then get sick and lose everything. So you want to make sure your insurance is paid up. You want to make sure you have money in your healthcare savings account, stuff like that. And then at that point, when you hit retirement, you have to have some sort of withdrawal strategy. There are limitations on how much you must withdraw in the way you withdraw your money. So you just want to make sure you have some plans so that once you hit retirement, you can live the next 20, 30 years and just be fine. What I've actually said is I think, especially for Black folks, we have to think outside the box as it pertains to retirement. And that might mean us thinking in terms of other forms of retirement that go beyond money. A good example is my parents. My father took care of me since I was 3. He quote unquote my stepdaddy, but we don't use the word step in my family. And because this man dedicated his life to me and did so much for me, when he got older, there's nothing he can't ask me for. So when he needed a new car, I bought him a car with cash. I said, there's no car note. We're going to get whatever you want. Also, when he wanted to pay off his house, I said, don't worry, I'll do that for you. We paid his house off because that was a dream of his to have his house paid off. And so he was thanking me, and I said, "You don't need to thank me. You don't owe me anything." He said, "Well, you didn't have to do this." I said, "Well, yeah. Well, you didn't have to take care of me back in the 1970s and 1980s when my own father chose to go get high on drugs. You didn't have to step up when me and my mother were two poor little project kids, just basically trying to figure out a way to survive. You didn't have to move into the house and be with us. You could have been out pimping hoes. Seriously, this is the stuff that they promote in the media. They don't want the Black man to be a man. They don't want Black men stepping up. They want Black men to be irresponsible. That's why they promote the nonsense. That's why they created the pimp culture, which is extended into what you saw in hip hop. And I'm gonna tell you, it makes me furious. It absolutely infuriates me. And so I said, you didn't have to do any of those things for me. But what you did was by investing in me, you invested in yourself. By investing in me and my sister and my brother, you were preparing for your retirement in ways that money cannot buy. Give me a yes if you follow what I'm saying. Give me a yes if you have somebody in your life who invests in you, where when they retire, they're not going to want for anything. Give me a yes if you got somebody in your family where you love them so much, so connected to them, that you're always going to make sure that they're good. You're not going to put them in a home. You're not going to let them go destitute. You'll never let them want for anything. Does anybody have somebody like that in your life? I don't. I assume I'm not the only one. If you're in that category, then I want you to really understand that when you pour into people, that is also part of your retirement plan. That is part of your retirement plan, right? Because when you're young and healthy and you can do whatever you want, well, kids can feel like a burden. You can be like, oh man, I ain't dealing with these damn little kids, and they ain't even my kids. Why the hell am I dealing with it? Well, life has again, I talked about earlier about the law of reciprocity. What comes around. What you give is what you get. Karma can either be your best friend or karma could be a bitch. It all depends on what seed you did or did not plant. It all depends on what you put out into the universe. So if you have put out love and support and guidance and protection for children, then when you're old and you can't walk no more and your hair is gray and your teeth done fell out, you're worried that those kids are going to show up for you. They're going to have your back. They're going to make sure you're okay. They're going to protect you with their lives. But you ever go, anybody, you've probably never done this, but one day you should go to like a senior center. And I want you to take note of the people that are sitting in the senior center and ain't nobody coming to see them. They live alone. They fell down. Nobody came and picked them up. They had a medical emergency, had to get a major surgery. There was nobody there to even pick them from the hospital. Why do you think that is? Chances are it's because they didn't invest in anybody when they were young. Not in every case, but in many cases, and this is something really, really important for men to understand. Um, if you invest in other people, then those people will come back and invest in you. If you did not invest in them, they will not care about you. So remember that. So when you think about retirement planning, just know when you talk to me about it, again, because I've been talking about this, I've been teaching college students for 30 years now. I don't think of it just in terms of 401ks and IRAs and compound interest. That's easy. That's the simple math. I also think of it in terms of all the things that money cannot buy and all the different ways that you can express wealth in your life, even if you don't have a nickel in your pocket. Because whether you know it or not, you're already a millionaire. God made you a millionaire before you were born. You just didn't see it because you didn't have any money. And that's something I really need you to kind of disavow and let go of right now. All right. So anyway, I'm going to head on out, guys. I got to get ready. We're getting ready for our Black Wealth Training Camp. We're doing that here in LA for the next couple of days. If you want to come out, just go to boycewatkins.com. Also, I think I speak in Austin at the end of the month. I got to double check. I think I got a wealth conference or something I'm speaking at. I got to find out more information. But in addition to that, if you want some free stuff from us in the Black Business School, we'd love to help you. We have the first ever Black financial therapy department. We work with the best therapists in the world to work on the psychological barriers that keep us from building Black wealth. My wife helped me start it. She is a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work and a certified trauma expert. So feel free to take a look at the Black Business School. I'll put the URL on the screen. Also, my wife's books and my books are at drboycebooks.com. So if you go to drboycebooks.com, you can find them there. Also, I'll put the URL for the Black Business School. It's theblackbusinessschool.com. Now, one thing I want to make sure it's 100% clear is that while the Black Business School has to raise money, and we do have things that you can actually purchase if you want to invest in the school or support the school or support yourself, of course. We don't want your money if you don't feel that we're really helping you. But also, if you don't have any money, you're welcome to. I want to make that 100% clear because sometimes I know that because I'm so blunt, I know I can hurt people's feelings on the internet. Or I think one guy said, you're uppity, you think you're better than everybody else. And I said, well, I don't understand that. Why would you think I think I'm better than you? Because you keep saying you're a professor. When I said, well, I'm not going to apologize for being a professor. That's what I am. That doesn't mean I'm better than you, but I am a professor, and that's okay. And so, and then someone else said, well, you got to pay all this money. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to pay absolutely anything. And am I special? Am I smart? Am I capable? Hell yeah. I think I'm a great man. I'm great at what I do. I do my best to be the absolute best I can be. But the thing I want you to understand is I want you to be great too. I'm not great because I'm better than you. Me being better than you does not make me great. You understand? I want y'all to understand this, that you're not a better person just because you are better than the person next to you. You're a better person because you're doing your best. So, and greatness is not a monopoly. It's not a one man show. It's not something where only one of us can be great. I want all of us to be great. So, do I feel good about who I am? Yeah, damn right I do. I'm very proud of who I am. My mama didn't raise no punks. My daddy didn't raise no scrubs. I ain't no scrub. I'm never gonna be a scrub. But at the end of the day, I also want you to be successful too. And so, if I can help you in that goal, then just let me know. It doesn't matter if you're not black. I think somebody said, too bad I'm white. No, white people come to the Black Business School too. Just like black people go to Harvard and Yale and Stanford and white schools. Well, white people should be learning from B1 people. Because I'm going to tell you right now, B1, aka Black First people, are the most economically intelligent group of people on the planet. We are the only group of people who can say we survived the Middle Passage, the slave dungeons, 250 years of the most brutal slavery known to man, Jim Crow, mass incarceration, and still came out shining. The B1 people not only are the leaders of the community, but our children and grandchildren are going to be running the billion-dollar, trillion-dollar corporations because we're planting those seeds right now. So if you're not black and you want to learn from us, you can do that. You just have to know that we are here to serve a specific community because that specific community has specific needs that need to be specifically addressed. Give me a yes if you understand. But we don't have time to discriminate. We don't hate nobody. I don't hate anybody. I love everyone, but I love my people first. I love myself first. I love this community first. And that's where we stand. That's what we're doing. All right. So anyway, guys, anyway, if you want to join the Black Business School, you can go to theblackbusinessschool.com. You can get started for free. We will give you more free. We will give you more stuff for free than your university gave you for $100,000. I guarantee it. I know what your university gave you because I've been a college professor for a long time. So I know this, right? So when we have thousands of students that will tell you that we've done more for them for free than they got in college over 4 years. Now, if you want to pay for something too to get a little bit more, then that door is open. But for example, on Wednesday nights, we do Powernomics training. That is 100% free. You will gain from participating in that. So I just want to encourage you, whatever you're doing, you got to grow. We have to elevate. We got to change our thinking. That slave culture is deep. That slave training is bad. That all this stuff that teaches us to be at the bottom of the barrel is a bunch of nonsense. And so I just want to be one of those voices in the woods to say enough is enough. We ain't got to live like that. I'm not having my kids go through the things I went through. I'm not having my kids sit there and have live on their knees and be somebody's little punk. My kids are not doing that. My kids are going to be ready. They're going to be empowered. We're preparing right now. And we're going to be ready for the future. So get your kids ready. You can do that. All right. So anyway, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. The URL's on the screen, theblackbusinessschool.com. Don't forget the THE. Also, this podcast is on Spotify. So if you look up the Dr. Boyce Breakdown on Spotify, you can find me there. In addition to that, we have a Telegram group for Black investors. You can go to drboycetelegram.com if you'd like to get on the Telegram channel. So have a good day, everybody. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Take care now. Peace.